guys, Rivalry Teacher now, and we're back once again with the RBL, week number 2. Your Royal Bournemouth Republics are taking on the Cornish Corphish and coach Alistair Ferrathorn. Alice had a bit of a rough week 1, taking a loss to newcomer Sean Pittman, of course. We actually broke our duck in spectacular fashion against Ben Zossa with a 2-0 victory. If you missed that match is up on my YouTube channel already. By all means, go ahead and watch that. That was a really good masterclass in how to deconstruct a very, very scary team. But this one, we've got a very interesting matchup. Trick Room is not something that my team does well against. Theoretically speaking, since if you missed last week's video, we did actually drop Regirock for Rampardos. So that was a change that we definitely needed to make. We noticed some important details about Regirock that we decided to make some changes. By we, I mean me and my scrim partner. So this week going into testing, our prep did not go so well. To be perfectly honest, we found some very, very key strategies that Alice could use that can definitely cause my team some problems. So we'll go through that, and then we'll go through what she has and then what I'm bringing as well, because my team is going to look very different from last week, even if the personnel is somewhat similar. So moving in, her first pick of the draft was Snorlax. Actually, a really, really solid pick. Does get access to Belly Drum, of course, something that's very, very scary. Obviously incredibly strong under Trick Room. Could also be Curselax too, which is something that actually was causing me problems during testing. So we will see which set Alice chooses to run. Snorlax, of course, gets a lot of coverage moves as well. Doesn't get as many in BDSP as it does in Sword and Shield. There are a few moves that it did gain in Sword and Shield that it does not currently have until the home update, which actually, I don't actually know what the rules will be around the home update. Because obviously certain Pokemon will be massively buffed with additional moves. But we'll have to cross that hurdle if and when we get there, because we are actually playing this match the day before the Pokemon presents. So we'll be very interested to see if we get some kind of home update in the announcement, obviously. Clefable is one of the best partners for Snorlax in a lot of ways. Clefable gets access to Follow Me, of course, which allows Snorlax to set up Belly Drum for free, which can be a little scary. Funny enough, Clefable also gets Belly Drum itself, but we're never going to see that. But Clefable, Bulky Carmine, does get Unaware, of course, and of course Magic Guard, so you can Toxic Wall it down. Actually very, very scary mon in general. Carmine is a very scary set, but I expect it to run a little bit more supportive. Things like Follow Me, Wish, stuff like that. Well, we'll see. Does get access to Flamethrower, of course, which can punish Scizor. This could be like a Barbarian type set, somewhat similar to Ben's Togekiss set from last week. However, I do have better answers for that this week, so we'll see if Alice chooses to go that way. But definitely expect to see Follow Me. It is one of the quintessential Clefable moves for doubles. I think it should definitely be on the set. But as for the rest of it, who knows? We'll see. Rotom is a tier 2 pick, but I don't actually see it coming this week. It's a very, very strong pick, but I have a lot of scary answers for Rotom on this team, not least to mention Venusaur. Venusaur completely walls Rotom. Rotom does not get, or at least Rotom does not get any moves that can really punish Venusaur. It just threatens it out immediately, so I don't see Rotom ever coming to this game. I do think there are better options on this team to face me with. But nonetheless, Rotom pretty bulky. If it does come, it's probably bulky Willow Hex, kind of somewhat similar to Ben's Rotom Wash from last week. But I don't expect to see it, but it is a pretty decent mon in general. Can hit pretty hard with its stabs, but other than that, it doesn't have a lot to offer. Blastoise is quite threatening. Blastoise obviously slightly slower than Venusaur, which is pretty handy for me, but also very bulky. Does get access to Shell Smash, which can pair up nicely with Clefable's Follow Me, of course, which can cause me a lot of problems. So I have to play around that if I do have to run into it. I do expect to see it, but we will see. I do have answers for it, but we'll see how that goes. Claydol, very bulky Trick Room setter, especially on the special side. Probably the best Trick Room setter on this team if Alice chooses to go that route. Now, can be Calm Mind, of course, can be Screens, can do a lot of different things, but it's very, very bulky. So it can be pretty hard to take down. I do have some very creative answers for it this time round. Under Trick Room, this thing can be quite threatening. It is relatively slow. Dusclops, of course, formerly known as one of the premier Trick Room setters, falls quite a long way down in BDSP due to the fact that there is no Eviolite in this game, which means it is a lot less bulkier than Claydol. But it can still be very, very handy. Will-O-Wisp obviously is very scary under Trick Room. This thing's incredibly slow, so I would expect to see like a Trick Room Willow, maybe Helping Hand style set, which will work out quite nice for Dusclops if it does come. I think Claydol is the better Trick Room setter on this team, however. But Dusclops still has a little bit of a place. It can still live hits, barring any like super effective hits going into it, in which case you can just run things like Colbur Berry for Dark type, for example, as a way to mitigate it. Sceptile is the fastest Pokemon on this team. At base 120 speed, it outspeeds Larios, which is something to bear in mind. Can be physical or special. Most of its best moves are on the special side, but its base physical attack is actually higher than its special, which is kind of awkward for Sceptile. But nonetheless, pretty decent offensive Pokemon. Does get access to Unburden. However, Unburden is a little bit weaker in this game because terrains are not a thing, so that is something to bear in mind. But can easily run Focus Sash or like a Pinch Berry in order to proc Unburden, which could be scary because obviously everything at +2 speed, even on my end, does not outspeed Unburden Sceptile unless I'm running like +2 speed Scarf, which is something that I don't plan on ever running because that's kind of an awkward set. Monferno could come in as it does outspeed Scizor, could be drafted as a Scizor answer, which could be a little bit scary, but we will see about that one. Monferno does get a decent amount of coverage moves, obviously Baby Infernape. Infernape gets more coverage moves, but Monferno can still hit pretty hard. It is also reasonably fast, so definitely a threat, something to bear in mind. Stantler is a bit of an interesting one. It's got a decent physical attack and speed tier, however, most of its primarily attacking moves are special, which is a little bit of a problem. Does have good abilities, though, in Intimidate, Frisk, and Sap Sipper. Sap Sipper could be an attempt to try to shut down Venusaur, but I don't see it. Frisk and Intimidate are just really, really good doubles abilities. But it's not super bulky, and that's probably its biggest problem. It doesn't hit hard enough to be a wall breaker, and it's not bulky enough to be a tank either. And last but no means least is Pico. Pico really is not super good, to be honest. It's a water type, but it's weaker than Blastoise. It's a flying type, which is the only flying type on this team. That's probably the only purpose it has. But like most tier 5s in the league, Wingull just doesn't have any usage. Fortunately, Wingull does not get Drizzle, unlike Pelipper, so it would be forced to run Rain Dance. So that is something to bear in mind. But yeah, it's a pickup nonetheless. Yeah, so as for team expectations, I'm not sure. Honestly, I think Trick Room is perfectly good against my team. Trick Room is actually very, very scary, but the out of Trick Room mode is also fine with things like Sceptile, Monferno, Blastoise. I could definitely see that coming, with obviously the Follow Me support from Clefable. Something I could realistically expect. So, let's talk about my team. Let's talk about the prep we had, and I talked about it at the top of the video that our team may have similar personnel, but it's going to look very different. Excuse me. So first up is going to be Larios, unsurprisingly, but we're running very bulky this week. This is primarily due to the fact that even with only 4 speed investment, we do actually outspeed Monferno, which is the fastest thing on the team, bar Sceptile, especially the ones that I expect to see coming. So we're running max physical bulk this week. This gives me a good chance to live things like Snorlax, even after Belly Drum, which is something that can be scary. But our set this week is very, very interesting. We're actually running Tailwind, and the reason we're running Tailwind this week is to potentially cover for out of Trick Room. Obviously, if Alice brings Trick Room, then Tailwind will be as less useful. But Ally Switch, Protect, and Psychic is actually really handy with the leftovers. Ally Switch can obviously mean that moves that would threaten things like some other mons on my team will actually end up going into Larios, which we will talk about that in a second, given the fact that there are a couple of mons on my team that are weak to certain types that actually Larios resists, so we can use Ally Switch to bait them out and counter hit back a lot harder. Protect, of course, for free leftovers recovery, and Psychic our attacking move of choice. Psychic hits pretty much everything on this team, bar Claydol, for neutral or super effective damage, which is pretty handy to have access to. Obviously, it does also mean we don't get taunt baited, because Dusclops very commonly runs taunt, as does a couple of other Pokemon on this team, so something to bear in mind. But this is a very bulky supportive set this week. Obviously, last week we ran a Wall Breaker Larios set with Scarf against Ben. This week we're running Fully Fizz Death, so a little bit of a change. Next up is going to be a mon that barely changed much from last week, and that's going to be Scizor. Scizor running a little bit of speed EVs this week. This actually allows me to outspeed pre-unburdened Sceptile in under Tailwind, which is pretty handy to have access to. We are adamant max attack, which does hit pretty hard. So if we do outspeed the Sceptile, we can just X-Scissor it and one-shot it. Brick Break, of course, punishes Snorlax, and Night Slash punishes the Claydol and the Dusclops. Same thing to bear in mind. We'll most likely be clicking Bullet Punch most of the time anyway, especially when we pair it up in tandem with another Pokemon on this team. But Bullet Punch hits really hard. We got enough HP that we can tank just about any hit, barring any fire move from Inferno, or potentially a fire move from Clefable if it runs Flamethrower, which I expect it to run. But Bullet Punch really does punish it really hard unless it's running the Berry, so that is something to bear in mind. But we are running a very, very offensive, hard-hitting set. Kind of similar to what we ran last week, although last week we ran max HP, we didn't actually run speed. This week we are running speed because of the Tailwind support, which is pretty handy to have access to. Next up is going to be our new boy to the team. We dropped Regirock for him, but we have got Rampardos, and we've got a very creative set this week. This is a set that is more commonly ran in singles, but less so in doubles. In fact, actually, I am going to change its nature to mild real quick, because I want the Spadef. But we're running Life Orb Sheer Force with Ice Beam and a lot of special attack EVs. This actually allows me to punish things like Rotom and Sceptile. We are running enough speed to outrun Sceptile under Tailwind conditions. But obviously if it's running Trick Room, then we'll underspeed and we'll catch out the Sceptile anyway if it's forced in. But with Sheer Force and Life Orb Ice Beam, we can actually one-shot Sceptile 75% of the time. Obviously with chip damage, we guarantee kill it. Same deal with Rotom and also Claydol. Rock Slide, of course, hits incredibly hard. We do have base 165 attack combined with 192 EV investment. Punishes a hell of a lot on this team. It does a lot of damage. Iron Head is there for Clefable, of course, to hit that a little bit harder. But yeah, this Rampardos has the potential to be the breaker this week. That is kind of what we're expecting from it. We do actually have a way to enable this thing to one-shot things. We will get through to that with our next pick, but the design of this is just to hit as hard as possible. Obviously, Ice Beam covers Claydol, which is the big threat for us. One thing that we can also do with this is we can bait the ground move into Rampardos and ally switch with Larios, who has Levitate, which allows, obviously, Larios or Rampardos to hit for free, which is definitely something that Alice is going to have to prepare for, because this is going to hit incredibly hard. This can punch a lot of holes in a lot of teams. I debated on running full offensive and not run Protect, and just run something like Hammer Arm as a way to punish Snorlax, but we found in testing, unless it's Cursed Snorlax, that Rock Slide actually just does more damage, so we ran with Rock Slide instead, which does us enough work here. And our Supportamon this week is going to be making its debut. It's going to be Riolu. Riolu with Focus Sash Prankster, of course. Definitely pretty handy. We're running fully Spadef just to allow us to try to tank a hit. Obviously, Focus Sash guarantees that we live a hit. Follow Me, Helping Hand, Bullet Punch, and Screech. Obviously, Follow Me and Helping Hand always go first, pretty much regardless of situation, which is handy. Bullet Punch allows us to get some chip damage. That little bit of chip damage allows us to break potential Sash Sceptile, for example, which allows Rampardos to knock it out. Screech is actually there to enable Sizzle and Rampardos. This would be where picks that would normally live at least one hit can actually get punished pretty heavily. This is really good against things like Clefable. After a Screech, even the Berry Clefable can't live a Technician Banded Bullet Punch most of the time. There are ways that it can live it. It has to be specifically EV'd for it. But we will see, and even after a Helping Hand boost, it does not take it. This is a very, very sneaky supportive set. This kind of forces Alice in a way to kill the Riolu first, which allows my breakers to really start hitting really, really hard. This is something that could be very, very scary for Alice to deal with. This might be a pick that I run as a lead option, or I can even run it in the back, just keep it there as a way to protect our wall breakers. Alright. Next up on the team, we are still maintaining our Sun Core. We are bringing Venusaur. We're running Black Sludge this week to make room for Life Orb on Rampardos, but still with the speed. Now, the one thing about this is that Shell Smash Blastoise will outspeed me even in Sun. However, in Sun, Blastoise cannot kill Venusaur with max HP, so We're not super scared about that. Giga Drain, Sludge Bomb, of course, still remain the stab moves of choice. Sleep Powder is always a threat. Something to bear in mind, and Protect gives us free health back with Black Sludge. This is a really, really scary set for him to deal with. I can really punish just about everything on this team, because anything that Giga Drain can't hit, Sludge Bomb can, so that is something to bear in mind. The only thing that really this does not hit super hard against is Snorlax, but we can punish Snorlax relatively easy by putting it to sleep, and then just getting free health back off it, so we are perfectly fine with that. And then, of course, last but by no means least, is going to be our Vulpix, Konkana, there she is this week. Running Heat Rock with Protect 3 attacks, kind of similar to what we ran last week. Nothing too similar. Protect, Dark Pulse, Heat Wave, and Energy Ball. This pretty much hits his entire team. There's not really anything on this team that this doesn't hit. Obviously, we run enough pace on this to naturally outspeed things like Snorlax out of Trick Room. Obviously, in Trick Room, we've got to be careful. If we can snag a burn with Heat Wave, that would be very, very nice, but it's not expected. But we can really put in a little bit of damage with this. Obviously, Heat Rock gives us 8 turns of Sun, and unless there's some like Rain Dance shenanigans on this team, there is not really going to be a way for Alice to counter Sun, as she does not have a Rain Setter naturally. So that's going to be our squad. The main game plan here is going to be to try to punch enough holes with Scissor and Rampardos. That is going to be the goal. Obviously, we have a bit more support this week than we did in our last team. No Gramble this week. I debated on it, but I felt like Gramble's matchup was a little bit iffy. Lantern obviously really does not match up very well into this team with a Rotom, Blastoise, and a Sceptile, as well as a Claydol. So definitely a lot of things that Lantern can answer. Other than that, our other mons, Piloswine and Gligar. Gligar actually could have come this week. I did have it on the team originally, but I swapped it out because we bought Rampardos in. And Piloswine, while it can be okay in this matchup, it's a little too iffy. There are too many situations where it doesn't quite work as well. So that's going to be our squad, so let's take you on right into the battle. See you in a bit. Alrighty guys, we are straight into the battle with Alice, and I almost got her team exactly spot on. Only Rotom instead of Sceptile, which I'm kind of happy to see this. That being said, this is Trick Room, so this is going to be very scary. Trick Room is a bit of an issue. Let's see. So this is kind of scary. I wanted to bring Riolu Rampardos as my lead, with Lottie in the back and maybe Scizor, but I'm kind of scared now to do that. So let's go Riolu, Rampardos, Lottie, and Scizor, I think. Yeah, let's go with this. Alright, this is gonna be very interesting. So no Sceptile brings Rotom. Dusclops and Inferno, that's what I didn't want. That's what I didn't want. So... So this is not Trick Room. I think what I do here is I go Follow Me. And I could Ice Beam here. I could Ice Beam. Because there's no way you don't Leaf Storm Rampardos here. I definitely want a Rock Slide. Okay, so we do get a U-turn, which is really nice for us. Okay, what did you switch into? Dusclops, maybe? The Traveler? That is Claydol, actually. I almost Ice Beamed there. Gets the Willow. So Riolu lives another turn, which is actually amazing. Devourment. Oh my word. You have got to be kidding. Oh, that is so bad. That is a massive bad turn 1 for us. Oh, that sucks. Let's go Follow Me and then Ice Beam. This is a Trick Room, Claydol. I kind of want to hit this Claydol, but I don't necessarily mind if Trick Room goes up. So we're gonna Follow Me again. Yep, there's the Hex. Kind of expected that. Riolu goes down. That's fine. Rotom kills. Rotom kills. Riolu. Rampardos kills. Rotom. Alright. So we did actually see a screen there. Interesting. Let's go into Larios. Okay, Snorlax. This is fine. We go to Larios here. This is probably Belly Drum. There's no way you're not light screen as well. The question is, do you have a ground move? That's the only thing. I think actually doubling Lax is the option here. Good play. Good play. I could have ally switched there. That double miss turn 1 really sucked, but we do connect the Claydol this time. Bit of chip. Alright, there's the screen. Yeah, that's what I expected. That's what I expected. Okay. So I definitely think they go for Trick Room Belly Drum. She has to go for it at some point, so I'm gonna make the same play again. Okay, so we do actually, unfortunately, get the Belly Drum off. Okay, but that is fine. Alright. Alright, and that's the Trick Room. That's fine. This is probably Earthquake on Snorlax. Do I let Rampardos go down? Like, what is the last mon? It's Monferno, right? So I don't think I need, okay. So I think we can actually... I mean, I don't want to risk it down to only Scissor in the back. But Claydol can't touch me. So yeah, I think we actually just Rock Slide here. Well, actually, no, we can Protect. We can stall out Trick Room. We can stall out the Trick Room. There's the Earthquake. That's what I expected to see. Alright. And rest Claydol. Alright. I'm okay with that. A Spadef drop would be very nice around about now. We didn't get it. That's a shame. So I expect Earthquake to kill me, honestly. Is there a reason for me to double protect? I feel like I have to go for it. Because I want to stall out as many turns of Trick Room as possible. We don't get it, unfortunate. That's fine. Alright, Rampardos is gone. Alright. Snorlax kills. Snorlax kills Rampardos. We do get a drop this time, which kind of matters a little bit. Alright, no Dusk. I forgot to update my thing. Where am I? No. So now I go to Scizor. Alright. So we can protect here. Alright, we protect Bullet Punch here. Okay, we do get this off, which is actually pretty good for us. So Snorlax goes down. Alright, that's good for us. Scizor kills Snorlax. Alright, the problem is we're locked into Bullet Punch. Which is not ideal for us here. Do I show Ally Switch here? I think I have to. Alright, I'm gonna show the Ally Switch. Yeah, I think we Ally Switch Bullet Punch them on Inferno. Oh yeah, nice. That was a crit mind. Okay, that is fine. Alright, so they know we're banded. Okay. So, they have no attacking moves on this Claydol, interestingly. So we can kill Monferno here. And I guess I could just fire off a Psychic. Okay, that's fine. So, Alice forfeits. So interesting. So we actually came back and took a win there. That is a Scarf Monferno, I think. He wins. Alright, so we go again. So yeah, Scarf Uton Monferno. That's fine by me. I'm actually perfectly okay with that. I kind of predicted Rotom to be Scarfed. But if Monferno is Scarfed, I'm okay with this. So they don't know my last Larios move. They don't know that I'm Tailwind, but Tailwind is not going to matter in this game. Okay. So the question here is, what does Alice do now? So we let the belly drum go off last time, which was an issue. I think Rotom comes this game. Lead again. Maybe it leaves the bench. I think Lax definitely has to come. I actually want to try Rioli Rampardos. And then... I'm a little worried about Dusclops being Will-O-Wisp. Maybe I bring Sun. No, I don't think I need Sun. Alright. This is a bit of a risky build. But I think going this again. Oh, it's Clef. Okay. Interesting. Alright. So, I think we actually show Screech on the Clef and Rock Slide here. Yeah, we're gonna Screech Rock Slide and hope we hit the Clef. That's the follow me, which is what I was expecting. Okay, we're gonna show Screech. And if this Rock Slide connects, this Clef is dead. We connect both. Oh, it's fully Fizz Def! Oh, that's a problem. Oh, that is a big problem. There's the belly drum, which we expected. Alright. And we do see leftovers, so that's fine. This actually worked out way better for us, to be honest. So the fact that we're faster than Snorlax actually matters a lot here. So I think he protects the Lax here. Let's see. I think she definitely protects Lax. Let's Helping Hand Rock Slide again. I think she has to play for Miss, though. Alrighty. We connect both. Okay, that's huge for us. Okay, that's great for us. Rampardos kills Clefable. Rampardos kills Snorlax. So the reason I Helping Handed there was to cover for a switch. Shadow is Dusclops. Okay. This is kind of awkward. Fury, what is that? Oh, Monferno. This thing is Scarfed. We know this thing is Scarfed. Because of how he's playing this. The question is, how much does this Dusclops do? I think we help it. I think we follow me to bait the Will-O-Wisp out. And then a Rock Slide. Alright. Oh, this could be Sash Dusclops, actually. Oh, I didn't think about Sash. I should have bullet punched. Alright, there's the Shadow Claw. We take it. Fury dodged. But we do connect on Dusclops. That's a good amount of damage too. And he did go for Willow. That's what I expected to see. Alright. So the question is, does this Monferno have a fighting type move? Because we haven't seen it yet. So the fact that we haven't seen a fighting move is a little surprising. We've seen U-turn Shadow Claw so far. And we know it's probably Fire Punch for Scizor. So what's to stop me Helping Hand Rock Sliding here? Yeah, this is a tough break for Alice. But this is kind of how this matchup was gonna go. If she couldn't stop Rampardos, this was the problem. Here's the Shadow Claw, which doesn't do too much. That was a crit, actually, so this is definitely Choke Scarfed. And now, oh my word, Rampardos! Holy crap! Rampardos kills Monferno. Rampardos kills Dusclops, and that is a clean 4-0 of Rampardos. That is what I expected this game to be like. That is my second 2-0 victory in a row. That is a pretty dominant win for us. GG's to Alice. What a series. That first game was close. I had to run amok there. Interesting Claydol set. I think I would have wanted an attacking move on that set. I could see what you were going for with that set. But rest is like very mediocre against my team. I just have like so much damage. But yeah, great games to Alice. That was a really fun set. I'm curious if that Monferno was scarfed or not. It looks like the damage calc on that crit was not boosting item, so I can only assume you were scarfed to outspeed Lari. So yeah, that was probably my only play, but that was a pretty fun set. We did have a pretty good prediction on your sets, more or less. But yeah. Either way, great games, Alice. That was a really entertaining series. But as always, guys, thank you so much for watching. Let me actually check who we play next week. Let's see. I thought I knew who we were playing, but it slipped my mind. My boomer brain is getting old, guys. I can't help it. Let me see. We are facing Sean Pittman and the Talonflames next week, so that's going to be an interesting match. That is an opponent I have never played before, so super excited to see. I know nothing about him, so I'm excited to see that one. But as always, guys, thank you so much for watching. My name is Rabombi Teacher. I'm your coach of the Royal Bournemouth Rabombis. Stay safe, stay awesome, and I'll catch you guys in the next one. Take care.